strategic actions. So welcome to the future of government contracting. I'm the co-founder of SamSearch, and I feel like there's more to me than just a co-founder of SamSearch. When I was prepping the slides, I didn't really know it's this. I just said co-founder of SamSearch. I guess a fun fact about me is I've seen 4 out of the 7 world wonders. So that is something you can know about me. And SamSearch is one of the premier AI-powered platforms designed specifically for government contracting to streamline the entire capture process from opportunity discovery, bid decision, and all the way to pipeline management. For today's webinar, we're going to discuss 4 main points, and then we're going to have some time for a Q&A. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat as we go, and we will make sure I have enough time to respond to all of them. Number 1, we're going to talk about the current capture challenges. We're going to identify a few main pain points and get to them. We're going to talk about the opportunity sources, where to find the best contracting opportunities, and how to find what are they and everything related to them. And then the second half would be related to AI transformation, how technology is reshaping capture management. And lastly is going to be the SamSearch 2.0. We're going to walk through a live demonstration on all the cutting edge features that we developed with all the capture teams in mind, all the business development, and to compete and actually have a chance in finding contracts across the board. Let's get started. So to start, what is capture? Capture management in government contracting refers to I'm not going to read all of that. That is the proper definition of capture, but essentially capture means everything. Sorry, there's a typo here. Capture means everything you do to win a contract before the proposal is even written. So a lot of times people don't put as much importance into the capture process as everything else, but the prep work, researching the opportunity, learning what the agency wants, finding partners, understanding competitors, and building relationships, that's all capture. So by the time you get to bidding, you get to the proposal, your company is ready to submit a winning proposal. So it's as equivalently important to have a good and proper capture system as it is to write the proposal. It's a journey that goes all the way from A to Z. And shout out to the people in the chat from Arizona. Just give you a shout. But from the beginning of the journey all the way to the end, capture is important along the way. And that's how you make the most out of your time, your resources, to be able to bid more in the first place. Now let's walk into a day in the life of doing capture. You start by opening your computer, you open any government website, and then you get lost. You close your laptop, and then you go make your coffee. If you relate to this, I assure you, you're not alone. They are confusing. They are overwhelming. All these websites are old and rusty and hard to deal with. But why is that the case? Why is it like this? Why is it actually overwhelming and hard to navigate? The first part, and the 3 main points we're going to focus on today, is the manual search, the information overload, the decision paralysis, and we're going to see why teams on average spend 60 to 70% of their time on administrative tasks and tasks that can be easily automated, but there is no other choice than actually doing them. Strategic capture activities and relationship building. Everyone talks about networking. Everyone talks about relationship building. Everyone talks about, oh yes, reach out to contracting officers. Go check this event, forecast, this and that. But the real question is when? When 60 to 70% of our time is spent digging through these old websites to find contracts. So we do want to focus on building relationships, but we want to get the time in the first place. So let's get to them one by one. Let's talk about the manual search. Search that does not understand you, or possibly you don't understand. Let's take a look at this example. Let's look for active and inactive contracts for cleaning for HVAC. Okay, well, we found one result, and it's janitorial services. So it's not really HVAC. Okay, no problem. So what about this? It's cleaning for HVAC system. It is right there. And we tried to look for it and it was not there. So a lot of times it's not just your fault that you're not finding sources. It is how it's built. Keyword search is the reason why this happens, where these websites use old methods like keyword search, that it tries to match what you're trying to search for exactly with what the search result is. But a lot of times they don't match or they don't work. And let's not get into the next code or any of that kind of stuff, but simply just the search itself, the keyword search, is complex and it's not accurate. Point 2 of the manual search is that unlimited resources. So there are the federal opportunities like sam.gov, and then you also have the agency specific portals like DIPS for the Department of Defense. It's mostly products for the DLA, or the Department of Defense, but there are billions in contract opportunities across the federal contracts. You have the SLED market, and it's over 5,000 state level or education and local websites that are often overlooked. And it's actually a gold mine, but they are overlooked for a reason. And then you have the subcontracting opportunities, which is the GSA subcontracting directory. They are available in the DOT subcontracting directory, the SBA subcontracting directory, and agency small business offices. So they're scattered all over the place. And then you have the forecast intelligence, and these are the agency procurement forecasts. They provide early insights on upcoming solicitations, upcoming contracts that are going to be a contract at a certain points in time. It's so great that we have all of these sources that we can find contracts. We know they are there. We know the sources and opportunities are there. But it's not so great that they are scattered all over the place and we have to go find them. Let's take a look at the forecast, for example. If we want to look for a forecast, we have to go through agency recurring procurement forecast. And for every agency, there is its own website. And then you go on that site. It's not the end of the maze yet. You have each website is different to navigate, is got their own platform, and they have their own formatting. It could be a database, it could be a spreadsheet, it could be a PDF, it could be anything. So you would have to dig to find all these forecasts that you want to find because you want that competitive advantage, but it's hard to find because of how scattered they are all over the place. Now, on the other hand, SLED, state and local contracts, have billions and billions of dollars of opportunities, but forget about it when you have to go or sign up to thousands and thousands of these websites. For the state of California, look how much I'm scrolling. These are all SLED websites that you would have to go through if you would like to find contracts. And the list goes on and on and on. So good that there are contracts again, but what is the point when they are hard to find? And how it feels to search across all government procurement websites. This is a quick meme that shows that you need an entire team to actually monitor these sources. And that's why capture teams exist, is to monitor all these sources, but it's still not enough, even if you have a capture team, to go through all of these sources and find an opportunity that your business can bid on. And in all seriousness, it's an issue that been happening and everyone knows about it. It's not just one or two businesses that struggle with this. That's why I was like, you're not alone. Even Dr. Tom, who was an honorary chairman, said an easily accessible and transparent database of contract information will bring sunshine into the confusing and sometimes shadowy practice of government contract. So it described it as shadowy practice and confusing because it is all over the place, and it's not so transparent when they brag about the government contracting niche or industry being transparent. Now let's talk about the information overload, which is the second pain point after the manual search. Search results are hard to find. Even if you were able to track down and get to the keyword search, it's still hard to find. Sorry, I don't know what this is. I think my cat was stepped on my keyboard. This right here. Well, I actually don't have a cat. That is a title of a contract on sam.gov. What is this? The contract is active and you guys can go look it up. What is this title supposed to give us when we are trying to search for a contract with the Department of Defense? Oh, sorry, there was text. This only increases the odds of missing a contract. And imagine how many contracts were missed because of their title, because of their assigned NAICS code, because of the wording that is used in the contract, and the list goes on and on. The second point of information overload is the overwhelming data. We all know how many attachments we have to download, how many attachments we have to go through, and how many attachments and information and long descriptions that we have to read, which only adds more to the friction of finding a proper contract. It makes it very slow to assess a contract. You would have to download all these attachments and you have to read hundreds of pages to understand the contract before you even want to bid on, before you even know if you want to bid on it or not. It's extremely inefficient bidding process. The very slow manual overhead work. It's mundane. It's very repetitive if you keep doing it on and on and on. Especially if your job is in business development or capture, you know how repetitive it is. It's confusing, and most importantly, it is unnecessary, especially when you end up not pursuing the contract. All that time gone to waste. It's extremely hard to keep track of this chaotic process because of how much admin work is involved and how much information is there. And the most important thing that you want you to take away from this is, sure, we can all do the work. No worries. It's one of the things that we have to sacrifice to work in government contracting, but that's not the issue. The issue is that time could be spent on other areas, whether it's finding more contracts, working on your business, working on contracts you're currently bidding on, writing proposals, etc., whatever it is. All that time is being taken away by a slow, unnecessary capture process. So that is it for manual search and information overload. Now, at least with, sure, fine, manual search, and then we bring information overload, at least we'll get better insights, because we have so much information. We've did so much search. So now we're supposed to have better insights to make decisions faster. Not necessarily, I would say. We're still falling into another pain point, that is the decision paralysis. A lot of teams, a lot of government contractors make unguided decisions, because by the time they get to make a decision and an assessment, they thought all the work is done. However, this is where one of the most important steps of capture is making a decision of pursuing a contract or not. But then we're having to start from scratch when we find a contract that we are interested in. We have now more sources to go through for market intelligence data. We want to understand the market. We want to understand how much spending is happening. So we go through USA spending. We go to the agency website. We get in touch with the contracting officer, and then we have to go back to the attachments, try to find exactly where and which attachment there is a specific information for compliance. Am I eligible for this? Do I have all the licenses? Do I have all the requirements, etc.? Even just talking about it, I'm getting heated up, because we've all done this before, and it's not easy, light process, to be honest. And with all of that, with all that digging, there's still not enough data on competitors. So we have to do research on who we are competing with and who we are bidding against, and how to position ourselves in a way we can bid on this contract, knowing our competition is who and what they're doing. And then we have complex agency spending patterns. Each agency, they have their own obligations. They have their own way of spending. Each fiscal year, it changes. Mid-year, sometimes it changes. So we have to be in the loop of all these spending patterns by agencies. And there's strategic location as well. Sometimes they spend in the East Coast more than the West. They have sometimes a lot of state focus points. And then lastly, after we find a contract, we also want to find strategic partners. Sometimes you have a perfect opportunity that you would want to bid on. However, you are missing one thing. You want help in another location. You want someone else to partner with. So you have to go find a business that is also ready to work with the government and is licensed and all of that to partner up with. This is what it's like to explain to a new hire how to understand and assess a contract, because when you're in it, after you understand it, it seems like it is the process. But when you have to onboard someone else to the team, good luck explaining all those sources, all those data to them. Like, imagine you're explaining it to someone with no experience in government contracting. It's not really that easy of a process. So after all of that, manual search and information overload is not leaving us with better insights. It's leaving us with suboptimal bid decisions, missed opportunities, and wasted resources on pursuits with low win probability. Why waste our time on low win probability contracts when we can focus more on finding better fit opportunities for us? And that is the main issue with government contracting, is that we have small and medium businesses in the mid-range trying to compete with extremely big corporations, and there's a massive gap between the two. Let's go through an example. We have the under-resourced teams on the left. So the first thing is that there's lost revenue. And you'll see how it's a loop. It's a full loop that you can never leave it. Lost revenue, missing crucial bid opportunities due to overload and the slow process of finding these contracts, which leads to the stagnated growth, the inability to scale your business, the inability to scale the capture efforts, which limits the access to the larger contracts. And that leaves you with wasted efforts. So the time spent on low probability bids, what we were talking about, due to the lack of the comprehensive market intelligence. On the other hand, we have the advantage to the large capture teams, where they are able to afford big dedicated resource teams, and they can assign specialized teams and agencies even to monitor sources, do the research, analyze that data, and come up with more opportunities. They are able to invest in very expensive and advanced tools that gives them the advantage for data aggregation, analytics, finding these opportunities faster, which when you have these two things secured, now you can be in a proactive position. You can be in a proactive strategy where you can now do the networking, you can do the forecast monitoring, and be in the loop with government contracting. You now have the time to reach out to others and partner with other companies and big corporations. And that is the proactive strategy that is giving them the biggest advantage when it comes to competing with the smaller businesses. By the time you are getting to the bid, they have already wrote the proposal because they were able to see it as a forecast in the first place. And that leaves the smaller under-resourced teams with the competitive disadvantage, constantly losing to better informed, larger competitors. And then the advantage for the large capture teams, there's a higher win rate because their decisions are data driven, their decisions are targeting higher probability opportunities. And I'm sorry if this is sounding a little bit boring and there's no memes here, but this issue is very serious because it's not fair for these corporations to keep on that winning loop and have us missing on these big opportunities. And by no means this is a victim mentality position. It's just the reality. It's just the facts of not enough resources we can do, while we also have to keep our business operating. Whether we have a cybersecurity business, an HVAC business, whatever it is, we still have to keep that going and do everything else to the side. So now we know what the real issue is. How do we build a foundation system that can get us a smart opportunity management? Let's start at the very bottom. The centralized search. We need search that is giving us all the sources and accurately. We don't want to miss a contract by misspelling something or using a different word or an acronym, for example. We need search that understands us, search accurately, and across all the sources. We want an efficient bidding process in your system. So you want to get the key details and usually a set list of details or a set list of information that you always want from each contract you're looking on, and to get those key details faster, so you make faster and better bidding decisions. On bid, no bid decisions, you make them faster, but the fast is not just the point. You also want to make better decisions. You want to set up monitoring systems and get alerts on opportunities you might miss, because the big capture teams with the corporations like Deloitte, Lockheed Martin, they have hundreds of people looking for these contracts. So it is very normal for them to keep finding more opportunities. But us, when we are running our business, having other stuff on the side, our capture team is not as big as other corporations. We need to set up an alert system that when there is something new, we should get it and have our eyes on it. But with everything that is happening, for the pipeline management, we want to make sure we stay organized. We want to track these deadlines. We track the tasks, have our milestones all met, and not miss anything or get lost in the file management or any of the admin work. And lastly, be able to position ourselves in a forecast monitoring, because we want to use procurement forecasts and be able to prepare ourselves and our business to bid on a contract before it is fully a solicitation. So that is a lot to ask after everything we complained about. However, luckily, we are in an age where doing mundane manual tasks is not really the norm. So I'm just going to get a sip of water. And as much as we have AI that is going to help us there, we still, as humans, should be making better informed decisions. We should be the one in control to make the decisions of the bidding process, but just with a sped up process, just with better insights and better information. And that's where AI comes in. So artificial intelligence is actually revolutionizing the entire capture industry and how capture's team work. We want to essentially, the one thing we want is to reduce the time and effort required for mundane tasks and put that time into productive work. And that's what the AI powered tools can help us. And that's how AI teams reported almost 75% and their time saved, and almost 60% a higher bidding rate. So they're now almost doubled their bidding rate by just bidding more by using AI. And the main things that AI can get us in general, whether it's any AI model like ChatGPT or whatever we're using, is instant document summarization and analysis. We can get better automated competitive intelligence gathering, so we can get more insights from there, and also real-time market and trend identification. And that's how SAMSearch was built. SAMSearch 2.0 was built as a competitive edge. We built SAMSearch with everything we have in mind, all the pain points we explained in mind, to actually get to the meat, actually get to the solution right away. We want the businesses to spend more time developing their business, performing the contract, meeting and connecting with other people in the industry, and do the work they are supposed to do, and have SAMSearch do all the other work that we talked about. So let's go through SAMSearch. And here you go, Deborah. The first thing that SAMSearch gives us is the ability to search across the board, across all sources, over 5,000 sources we have here. So we have the federal, the SLUD, DIPS, forecasts, but also subcontracting, grants, and SBIR, STTR's funding opportunities. Whether we want to search by a specific source or all sources, that is also something available for us. But let's only use federal. And do you remember how we were having a really hard time with the search? Let's try to look for cybersecurity with the DoD. Now, on SAM.gov, you would not get anything because we're using an acronym, which is DoD. But as you can see here, I just want to do a contract with the Department of Defense, that is cybersecurity. As you can see, we're getting cybersecurity contracts with the Department of Defense. And as we go, let's take a look at this one, for example. Protecting Army modernization and supply chains, commercial solutions opening. In the entire title, it doesn't have cybersecurity in it. But then when we go to the search term matches, we see that what they're asking for is cybersecurity with the Department of Defense. And let's take a look at the smart summary that is generated by AI. The Department of Defense is seeking innovative solutions to enhance the cybersecurity of the defense industrial base. So it's a straight up cybersecurity contract, but it would not have been populated on SAM.gov because cybersecurity is not mentioned in the title, and it's protecting Army modernization. And as you can see, we keep getting more and more cybersecurity contracts with the Department of Defense with their smart summary that is generated by AI, and we're able to skim through the results a lot faster because we're not depending our result on one thing, which is the title. We have multiple things to look for right here. Let's take a look at this RFP for cybersecurity technology and use it as our example. So cybersecurity RFP with the Department of Defense, we're getting the smart summary that is generated by the SAMSearch AI. And it looks like it is something that could potentially be an interest of our company, for example. We're getting all the information here. There's a description. And then we have a few attachments right here. Now, generally, you would want to download them and go through each one of them to understand what this opportunity is. But right here, you don't need to. You can summarize any specific attachment. Let's take a look at this one. So we can summarize it, but we don't, instead of downloading it, we can also just view it and view all the other attachments right here, the same place. I believe this is the Excel sheet. And as you can see, we got a quick summary that is generated by SAMSearch AI. But a lot of times we want to find information. And what I was talking about earlier in the presentation is we want to create a system. We want to have specific information to get our bid, no bid decision a lot faster. So that's where Ask SAMSearch AI comes in position. So it's a chat feature kind of, but the way it is made is as if you were talking to the contracting officer, as if you were talking and asking the contract any question you can think about, and you can also have it perform some tasks as well. With the email that is going to come after the webinar, there's going to be a list of prompts that you can ask, whether it's SAMSearch or any other model you use. But let's grab an example from our prompt library. Let's do this. What factors are most important in the selection process? Go back. We're just going to paste it here. Oh, it's analyzing the opportunity. Of course, this is going to happen in the webinar. I believe it did. Let's just refresh. So back to what I was saying, actually, we have a very extensive list of prompts that SAMsearch users have access to. And as much as nice it is, and it is very extensive, and it has multiple phases and layers to it, so the contract analysis, understanding, opportunity assessment, and all of that, there is more to look forward to, especially by the end of this webinar. Even for SAMsearch users, stay on the lookout. Okay, finally analyzed. Sorry, I don't know why this is not working right now during the demo. Let's try another opportunity. Let's see here. All right, the government contracting gods were hating on me because of how much I complained about them. But essentially, the chat, you can ask it any question and it can give you an answer to it. So the question we asked is what factors are most important in the selection process? And it gave us the document. There's no information here, but it did give us as much information possible. And then at the bottom, it referenced which document it grabbed the information from. And as I was mentioned, the chat is unlimited. The sky is the limit to it. So you can ask it to write you emails. You can ask it to create tasks to yourself or to the team. You can ask it to perform some bid, no bid analysis if you have specific information in mind, and all the way to generating compliance matrices. So you can ask it to generate a compliance matrix to any contract, and it will draft it up for you. And that is how we can make better, faster informed decisions. Let's go back to that contract. I'm a bit curious in it. So we summarized the attachment. We were able to view them. We asked SAMsearch AI, but there is still one very, very important step, which is understanding the market, understanding the data behind each contract right away. So what I was saying earlier is usually you'd have to go through multiple sources, multiple websites. You would have to go all over the place to get the data you are looking for. But right here with every contract, you can simply scroll to the bottom and you will get the contract insights. Starting with market intelligence, you will get the overview, which is how many awards it was based off. The total value of these contracts is 132. The average award is 1.3 million. And the median award is 186K. You were able to see the set-aside distribution. So contract set-aside categories broken down right here. So we see it's not really a set-aside friendly contract. So this is where you would be making a decision if you have a set-aside that, for example, you are veteran-owned and you see that it's been $1.3 billion compared to no set-asides is $145 billion. So you can make better decisions, assess if your business is a good fit for a contract like this. Broken down again by business type. Small business have, for example, 65.4 billion piece of the pie compared to unspecified $341 billion. So you see there's a big gap there. So maybe you would want to reassess your positioning. You would want to reassess if this is an opportunity you would like to tackle. If you are a set-aside, and if you're not a set-aside, again, you can make better decisions to go ahead and pursue this contract, et cetera, et cetera. Now, what you also get from the market intelligence tab is you get competition information. So you see other companies in the industry and competing on contracts like this. You were able to see them, see the total amount they were bidding on, and you can click on them, and that will take you to their actual profile in USA spending and get more information. You also get information about spending trends by the agency. So the entire theme here is to have all the data intelligence for you in the same place. So you get the spending by sub-agency. So it goes even granular to the sub-agency for the Department of Defense, because the Department of Defense is very big. We want to find something that is very relevant to this contract. So we're getting it by sub-agency, and we see them right here. We see the spending trends over time. So back to Q1 of 2023, and we see there was an uphill. There's a tick in Q4 of 2024. And where we are right now, we see how Q3 was performing compared to, for example, Q4 of last year. So now that we know based off last year of Q1, Q2, Q3, and then Q4, there was growth like this. It's safe to maybe assume that Q1, Q2, Q3 was lower. So don't really know what the trend is here, considering the administrations were different. But knowing the Department of Defense, there will be an uptick right here for sure. And it also goes all the way to geographical distribution information. So we see the top states. We have Washington in third for a contract like this. So you see all the market intelligence data you are looking for. You also get similar active opportunities. So if you like this cybersecurity contract and this is something that you were able to specifically find and it's a good contract you found, you get similar active opportunities right here. So you can get more information. You also get access to previously awarded contracts. So we were able to see all the spendings, all the market intelligence, the competition, but we also get similar opportunities that got awarded, and we can go on here, see how much they were awarded for. So you see these 3 similar awards. One was for 10 million, one was for 11.3, and one was for 11.7. So it's a good range to know how to price our contract, our bid. So this information is very important. And we see that these contracts are all in the same state. So Maryland, which is where this contract is as well. And that's how we can make better information, better insights, better decisions. Lastly, the partnerships part. For example, this is a big contract that we want to collaborate with. And that's what I was saying earlier in the chat, people exchanging emails. Maybe we wouldn't need this anymore, but we're just going to keep it. And we're going to have maybe a SAMSearch community platform where users can exchange information with each other. But we can see companies in the place of performance. So you see they all have the same state in Baltimore. This must be a different city in the state. They're all here. And we can see their details and their certifications and what they do. So let's say I'm a business and I'm looking to collaborate with another partner on a company that they have a registration, they have a license that I don't really have. This is where I would be able to find them from. And you also get a SAMSearch score, which is how good of a match this partner is. So we see this one is 47 based off their opportunity and their next code and their certifications as well. So that is it for the market intelligence and finding the contracts. The last aspect of this, staying organized and keeping everything in the same place in pipeline management. So we're going to go on start journey, and that's how we are going to say to the platform is that we're going to pursue this contract. And later on, we will find all of them in our Kanban board, our pipe management board. So we see all the phases here: assessment in progress, submitted, won or lost, or decided not to bid on. To speed up the process, we can move a ticket from anywhere to anywhere. And we also have a calendar view to make sure we're not missing on any deadline. This is the contract we are working on. So inside of it, we can keep all the information in the same place as well. We can have the stakeholder information, all the contacts we are looking to get. So we have, these are the contracting officers, but we can add more people that are involved in this contract. We can create tasks for this specific opportunity to perform, whether it's the site visit, setting up reminders, also with the calendar view and priority view to make sure you have everything in the same place. Access to the chat, you have access to all the documents. So you can upload all of your documents right here that are related to this contract, whether it's your note-taking, whether it's your site visits, whether it's any information or any contact, any attachment you would like to keep right here, it will be right there. And from here, you can draft an outline and generate a proposal as well. The last part of the demo and is the last part of creating the system is to generate and create a system that does not sleep while we do. And if cybersecurity with the Department of Defense is such a hot query for us and is something we want to keep getting and finding results for it, and every time there's a new one we get alerted, we can keep the cybersecurity with the Department of Defense, go through our filters, make sure we have, for example, solicitations, we want it to be a service, and we can get very granular with our filters. And then we can go on Safe Search. And from here, we're going to set cybersecurity with the Department of Defense opportunities. And we're going to check this box off, and we're going to get alerts on a weekly basis or daily or monthly, whatever we want. And we get the Safe Search. And now I know every week I'm going to be getting an alert to my email with the top results of cybersecurity with the Department of Defense or any other query you are looking for, and make sure I'm not missing any opportunity. And that way from there, I can save these opportunities, whether I can take a look at them later or whatever else I'm doing. But I know there is a system for me, searching for me every time I'm not even logged in, if that makes sense. So you want something, you want a system that is always working for you. You want a system that is always searching on your behalf, especially if you have a smaller team. If you cannot afford to hire 60 people to do your capture work, this is a great system for you to keep your search going 24/7. So that is a very brief demo of SAM Search 2.0, which is your competitive advantage. And I just wanted to share a real world impact story by Carlos Awaf, one of our users. He was able to find and win a construction contract that he said he would have never seen otherwise, saved him hours of work. And Khalid is the owner of the construction company. He is the owner of the business, operating everything, and he is still expected to find government contracts. To recap everything, the AI advantage is search that understands you, basic wording, simple English, unified information hub, all the sources in the same place. You are able to make faster bid analysis by getting immediate summaries, getting answers by asking SAMSearch AI for faster and more informed bid no bid decisions. You have the built-in market intelligence, all the data you would need in the same place. You can find partners and discover other companies to collaborate and tackle contracts with. And lastly, pipeline management to control this chaotic process of capture. That is it for the presentation, but before we get to the Q&A, I have one more thing to share with you. And this is something we are working on day and night. It's going to be groundbreaking to the government contracting industry. And soon we're launching the first government contracting AI agent. So if you thought about hiring someone else, this is who you need to hire. So there's going to be a very quick brief demo that doesn't really explain much, but essentially think of an assistant by your side at all time. Whether you want an agent that is able to search across any source you want using simple chat features, an agent that can find partners for you, help you with compliance information, help you with pricing strategies, and so much more. So stay on the lookout for the first government contracting AI agent coming soon. And with that, we will head to the questions and discussions. So let's get to it. So I've seen some questions were already answered. I'll try to add anything needed. So you will be able, the partnership section is primes looking for subs. No, the partnership section is partnering with other companies on a contract. If you are looking for subcontracting opportunities, you can, in the search, go to sources and select subcontracting. So these are primes. Well, it's not going to find with the DoD, but you will be able to find subcontracts by primes. And if you're looking to subcontract a contract, you would be able to find them in the partnership tab as well, right here. Can we set up notifications for new requirements like all HVAC under 300K in California? Yes. And it would be from here. So like I said, you can type in your query, put in your filters. Let's do a forecast, for example. You can set the maximum value of dollar amount right here. So we can do it 300K, 100, and we can save the search and now check this button off. And now we will get the alerts. We can also do state in the filters as well. In partner discovery, are these companies that have contracts or they are listed in SAM and we market ourselves to them for partnership? So in the partnership discovery section, which is this one, these are companies that are registered in SAM.gov and they have a government account. We know they are accessible and eligible to work with the government. So you would need to reach out to them. They can have past performances, and in the partnerships tab, you're able to see their past performances and what contracts they have won. But specifically, if you are just trying to partner on a contract with another opportunity, you would find them from partnerships. If you are looking to find a partner in general or a company that you are simply looking to work with in general, you can go to the partnerships tab and you can filter by keywords, their specific business certifications. If there's one specific thing you are looking at, SAMSearch score, if they have experience or not, location and state. And from there, let's take a look at GMCC, for example. You will see the company profile. You'll see their capabilities and services. If they have any certifications, you will see their past performances, if they have any, and the next code they work with. And lastly, the contacts information. When will SAMSearch 2.0 be available to use? So SAMSearch 2.0 is what we currently have right now. This is it, where capture is all the sources and everything we essentially walk through is already live. If you're not signed up, you can go ahead and sign up. And if you are signed up, it's there and accessible to you. Joey said, I need an agent. My virtual assistant takes forever to complete a contract. Well, worry no more, Joey. That agent is going to be running around 24/7 and it can do work across the board. So it's not just limited to SAM search. It can do the search online. It can get the information for you. It can do the email writing, everything else that you can think about. Can you go 3 slides back to this 7-step plan? Yes, it was right here. I think it was 6 or 7-step plan. So the AI advantage is this, the one tray. So search that understands you, unified information hub, faster bid analysis, built-in market intelligence, partner discovery, and pipeline management. Again, I will send these slides by email and the recording by email after the webinar. And I will also send you some contact information to reach out to us with any other questions as well. Can you add search by zip code? Would be very helpful. Okay, we will take a look into that. I think it should be doable to do. When will the agent be live? The agent, no set time, but we will send an announcement once it is coming soon or when it's live. So I will, if you're interested, you can write your email here and I'll make sure it's on the list after Joey. All right, did I miss any other questions? For the Q&A, I'm interested in contracting, but oh yes, there is one. The very first question I missed. Contracting, but I do not see many opportunities for what my business does. What is a good strategy for finding opportunities that I can subcontract? I'm considering procurement instead of a service-based contract. So this was the question. Well, subcontracting is a great way to always keep your search going. If you are looking for something that is specific but not reoccurring, subcontracting or state could be a great way for you to look for, because they have a lot of other sources and they sometimes are easier to get than the federal contracts. So if you go to subcontracting and you type in what your business does, you can now maybe filter by high confidence, which means we know these companies have to subcontract a part of their contract, and then you can click on it and hit the email contact button, and that will open the email app and draft up an email for you to send to the point of contact essentially and ask more about this contract. And honestly, I really suggest if someone is getting into government contracting to get going with subcontracting. It's a great way to get the foot into the door. Their way to look up the old contract that the incumbent won. It would be good to see once the solicitation is searched, if there can be some sort of notification that you know it's a recompete and what the award amount was. You can't fully do, you can't fully do those things, but there are ways around it. You can simply start by checking off the active only, and now you can see past opportunities as well that expired. Or you can set up the filter of the posted date or the due date as a filter. But if you want to go on, what is it? Like a recompete. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I missed that word, the incumbent one. In partnerships, if you look up the company name, for example, let's take a look at the company name. Here, I want to find a company with a past performance. Maybe let's look for right here, on their past performance. All right, here you go. So you see that this company, for example, Consummate Solutions Consulting Firm, they got the Childcare Millionaire Association as one of their past performance, and it's a DSPS past performance, which was $25 million. And you see the information right here. Hopefully that answer your question. Yes, Harry, we can, if you don't mind sending me an email, and then we can set up a one-on-one demo to take a look at other companies or other information you have. We'll go through it because we're tight on time right now. I want to make sure I'm covering all the questions. For buy Indian and or Indian small business, we looked into integrating a lot of the Indian websites. But however, if you in the search, if it's a set aside, you can input it as one of the set asides. If it's listed federally, you can find it. We tried as much as possible to get all of them, make sure we have them all. Yes, I know Chris is a big user of them. Thank you very much, Chris. So they are available in the sources as well. All right, we officially hit our time. It's 2 p.m. If you guys have any other question, yeah, please feel free to either reach out to us on our landing page. There's a chat bot, or reply back to the email that will be sent out after the webinar. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hoping everyone that is all over the US enjoying good weather. Thank you very much, Chris. The support is great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks, Ernie. Hope you guys enjoyed this webinar, and please, again, feel free to reach out to us as much as you want, and hopefully this was helpful. Thank you, guys.